Good morning, students. It's Monday morning. I want to go over these first 5 cases at the end of chapter 31. Hope with the information I gave you before, you're able to understand these cases. So let's look at case number 1. First of all, we're supposed to decide. If this is a note, a check, or a draft. First thing I want to tell you is that a check is a specialized form of a draft. So all checks are drafts, but not all drafts are checks. And what distinguishes a check from a draft is that a check is issued by a bank. Okay, so that's the first thing we need to look at. Also, the other primary difference between a check and a draft is a check is payable on demand and a draft does not have to be payable on demand. So those are the two things we're looking for. Is this 2 parties or 3 parties? And finally, if it's 3 parties, is this payable on demand and issued by a bank, or is it not payable on demand and not issued by a bank? So now as we look at case 1, we have 2 Arthur Williams. Okay, so boom. If this was a check, it would say to First National Bank or a name of another bank. Here it says to Arthur Williams. So boom, immediately we know that it's not a check, but we have to decide if this is a 2-party or 3-party instrument. 10 days after date, paid to the order of Bernie Brown. And so, again, this is not payable on demand. So even if it was issued by a bank or issued to a bank, that it still would not be a check because it's not payable on demand. Okay, so we have Arthur Adams, we have Bernie Brown, and we have it signed by Carl Clark. So this is a 3-party instrument, and therefore, and it's not a check, and therefore it's a draft. Okay, so that's case 1. Case 2. Frank agrees to build a garage for Sarah for $15,000. Sarah offers either to sign a contract showing her obligation to pay Frank or to sign a negotiable promissory note for $15,000 payable to the order of Frank. Would you advise Frank to ask for the contract or for the promissory note? The promissory note would be better. Remember, a promissory note is a negotiable instrument. It's that means it's a substitute for cash. Our person can sell this because it's a negotiable instrument. They can sell this negotiable instrument to a third party or go down to a bank and sell it. Also, if Sarah decides that she's dissatisfied with Frank's work, she has to sue on the promissory note and not on the contract. Frank just gets a lot more protections with a promissory note rather than a contract. In the next chapter, chapter 32, which will be our last chapter, we're going to talk about a holder in due course. And so a bank or another third party that gets this instrument would be a holder in due course and can get the full amount of the amount on the promissory note. Okay, case 3. I buy some cars. I then write out a document on several envelopes. I signed them, made out to People's Bank and Trust, be payable on demand. Um, we've kind of got accustomed to this idea that a negotiable instrument has to be on a check or a specified form. It has to have those 6 requirements that I referred you to earlier, but there is no specialized form that it has to take. If we were in class, I would write a negotiable instrument up on the board and then quickly erase it before anybody can take a picture of it, because that could qualify as a negotiable instrument. So yes, these documents written on the outside of several envelopes can qualify as negotiable instruments as long as it meets those 6 requirements that are earlier in the semester. Number 4, again, creates a problem for us, because if you look on page 812, it says it has to be in writing. Number 4 has to be in writing, be signed. It does not appear that it's been signed, so that's one failure. Contains an unconditional promise or order to pay. That's not met here. This is just an acknowledgement of the debt, not a promise to pay the debt. And so it fails on that. Be payable to order or bearer, not payable to order or bearer. Payable at a definite time. It's not payable at a definite time. It's just the date on which the debt is owed, and not state any other undertaking that meets that requirement. But all those other requirements, it fails, and therefore it's not a negotiable instrument. Holly Hills Acres executed a promissory note and mortgage and delivered them. The note contained the following stipulation: the note with interest is secured by a mortgage. Security on a note would not be an additional undertaking, and therefore, and be construed according to the laws of the state of Florida, also doesn't create a problem. And so all of these things would not disqualify it from being a negotiable instrument. So in case 5, that is in fact a negotiable instrument. Okay, for Wednesday, we will finish the rest of these cases, and I'll talk to you either Tuesday night or Wednesday. Good luck, be safe. Let me know what questions you have. Thank you. Bye.